Alright, I'm back. It's kind of a mid-tumble video. The LotO rotary is still going with Liam's rocks. They've got 2 more days. Today's Friday. But the LotO is done with step 2. Okay? It's at the point now, it's on step 2, but you can see it's not moving real well. And it's time to take them out, clean them off, and move on to pre-polish. So here is the process for that. The first thing I'm going to do is take a little bit of Dawn dishwashing liquid, put it right in there. Okay, this really helps with cleaning off the rocks. A couple of times I've forgotten, and you can still clean the rocks off, but it's a whole lot harder. Okay, so now I'm going to add some water. Add some water and put the lid back on, and I use a rubber band to hold it on. And we will wait about 15 minutes, and then we'll come down, we'll unplug it, we'll go outside and clean them off. We'll be right back in about 15 minutes, but in this video it'll be instantaneous. Alright, we're back, and we have basically just unplugged the tumbler and brought everything outside, and we are going to empty the bowl into here. And you see I've got a lot of ceramic media in there, and some of it is a small ceramic media, so I use basically a colander and then a filter below that, because some of that small media will go through. So here we go, dump the water on there. Move it off a little bit. Okay, and we got to clean out our bowl too, because we're going to switch from 122/20 to pre-polish. So we got to make sure we get the bowl clean so we don't have cross-contamination. There are some people that will buy a bowl for each step, and that would help immensely with cross-contamination. You'd only have to worry about it with the rocks themselves, but I haven't done that, so I got to make sure the bowl's clean. What I do is I have a toilet brush. This toilet brush has never been used in an actual toilet. I just use it to clean out my bowl. Make sure I get up under the lip there. Okay, clean it all off best I can. When you do the little Dawn dishwashing liquid thing, it's not real hard to clean out. It's not real hard to get it pretty much all off. The worst spot I get is right here around the rim. So I take a toothbrush and kind of hit that. Like, you don't have to go too extreme on it. Now, before I go back in the house, I want to make sure I'm seeing it right there. Yeah, see this one's got a little spot on it, and you want to make sure you get all those off before you take them in. You don't want the grit going down the drain in your house, because this stuff will clog up your drain, and that will ruin your day. Basically, this stuff, when it gets dry, is like cement, and the grit itself is heavy, so when it hits the drip loop in your drain, it's going to stay at the bottom, and eventually it'll fill it up and turn into cement, and that will be a very bad day for you, so you don't want to do that. I'm kind of checking. It looks, usually when I do the Dawn thing, I don't get a lot of spots, but I'm seeing a fair number today. Check them pretty well. I think I've got them rinsed off pretty well. And the next step is we will go back inside. Alright, we will pick up when I get back inside. Okay, we're inside now. I have the rocks in water in the sink. I pulled one out that's just, I think, spectacular. Let's see if I can get a good look at that for you. Yeah, Liam's got a nice batch here, and I think he's going to be really happy. He's not down here right now. He's not really interested until they're done. So the process here is I just kind of take another look at them, make sure there's no extra grit left on them, and then we pop them right in here. And you see I've got a canning funnel on there which fits it perfectly, and that's mainly for the ceramic media. Makes it a whole lot easier to get that in there. As you see, I'm using a lot of it. I would say I probably have more ceramic media than I do rock right now. I think that helps a lot in terms of not, getting the rocks all beat up. Here's another really nice one. Hopefully that focuses. But basically, yeah, so the whole idea now is we're just going to put the rocks back in, take one last look at them, make sure there's no cross-contamination. We don't want 120-220 grit getting into the pre-polish. The pre-polish will take 3 more days. So basically, we'll be checking the step 1 rotary tumbler Sunday, and then Monday I'll be doing all of this I just showed you. I'm going to be doing it all again. Only that time, instead of putting pre-polish in, I'll be putting polish in. And then 3 days after that, let's see if that's Monday that I do that, then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So Thursday of next week, these rocks should be done. And at that point, Liam might be a little interested in them. So basically, that's what we're doing right here. Is we're just refilling the tumbler, and then I will take it over to the actual tumbler, and I'll put the grit in. I'll show you why I have this second, I don't know what you call filter or whatever. Basically, if you look, the small ceramic media will go through this bigger one. So that way I don't lose the smaller ceramic media. And what I do is, as soon as I've got all these into the tumbler or into the bowl, then I'll empty the bottom one, so I get all the media back in. And once you see this, let's see if everything's still focused. Okay, about there. What you're probably going to notice, even though in this process these rocks probably actually lost a little bit of size, although in step 2 you don't lose a lot. In step 1, you'll notice they're a good bit smaller than when you first put them in. Okay, but step 2, it doesn't really take them down as much. Okay, but even though I probably lost size in this step, ceramic media, it's actually clear up into the top. I'll show you what I mean by that. Let's get all this in there. And this is all what was in there already. Okay, I didn't add anything. This is all what was already in there. Okay, if you look, it's actually clear up into the canning funnel. But here's the fun part. Give it a little shake. And it shakes right down in. Okay, so it's a good illustration of the space that you have in there, even though it doesn't look like you have in there. And I do believe that with especially a vibratory tumbler, the contact is very, very important. So you want it pretty filled in. That's why you want small ceramic media, you want bigger ceramic media, you want different sizes and shapes of rocks, because what is wearing these rocks, what's polishing them, is as they vibrate and move, they're rubbing against each other with the grit between them, which is what essentially sands them down. Alright, so we're going to move over to the actual well, actually, I may as well show you the last part. What I do here now is I take my little thing here, I put it over the mouth of the bowl, and I empty all the water out of it. Let all the water drain out. So the rocks in here are still wet, but I don't have like a pool of water in here. With the vibratory, it's kind of important. You need the rocks. It's a little touchier than with the rotary. You need enough liquid in there to keep it fluid so that everything moves and the grit covers the rocks to get a good slurry. If the slurry gets too thick, the rocks will stick to the bottom and it won't work. If the slurry gets too thin, all the grit will go to the bottom and it won't work. So you got to kind of find that happy medium. Alright, let's move over to the actual tumbler. Okay, we're back over. Let me get down here. And basically now we're going to... They usually say don't turn it on before you add the grit, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. So there you see the movement you get right from the start. And my recipe is 1 tablespoon of borax. This is powdered borax. We're going to add that in there. There's my borax, and then I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of pre-polish. Okay, and just to give credit where credit is due, that recipe comes from Rob at Michigan Rocks. If you have not seen his channel, I highly suggest you check it out. That guy really knows what he's doing. If you see the results that guy gets, you probably want to follow his recipes too. At this point, usually put a little bit of water in there. Try not to put too much in. And there they go. I will check them probably tonight before I go to bed, and then I'll check them again periodically to make sure that the slurry's not getting too thick or too thin, that everything's moving well. And then in 3 days, we repeat this whole process, except for 3 days from now, I'll be adding a 1/2 teaspoon of polish instead of pre-polish. Alright, well thanks for watching, and the next video will probably be Liam and I checking the step 1, and I may hold that off and put it with the next changing up of the water. Thanks for watching.